right, hello, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay. What is your name?
My name is Helga Cologne.
Okay, hi, Miss Cologne, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
What borough do you live in?
I live in Queens.
In Queens. How long have you been a foster parent?
Going on 5 years.
What foster care agency are you with?
Hispanic for Coalition. Or Coalition for Hispanic.
Okay, so why did you come to FPA Foundation today?
I find myself coming to FPA Foundation today because I've had quite a few issues with the agency that I'm currently on. I find that there's no communication. There's a lack of communication within the agency, a lot of misinterpretation. They called me yesterday on December 11th, 2013, stating that they were going to close my home. I'd asked them why are they going to close my home, and they said I needed to bring the children into the agency at 9 o'clock in the morning so they can be removed, my home can be closed. I questioned them why, and they said that I was not able to get along with the staff. I questioned them, what do you mean exactly I can't go along with the staff? And their opinion is that I'm an opinionated person, that I ask too many questions, and I seem not to be able to approach people the right way at the agency. This had brought about a lot of issues and concerns into the supervisors and the directors into the agency. What happens is that, I guess, when you question a person and they feel either intimidated or they feel that you're in their business or you're asking too much, it's like a domino effect. If one don't like it, you start seeing the difference between people. You start feeling they start trying to intimidate you, questioning you, or focus in what you're doing wrong or what you don't say. They work in cahoots. You know, what they do is one tells the other. Besides the co-working, partnership, they also have their own personal cliques. So if one person don't like you because of your personality, whether you're quiet, strong character, whatever the case may be, they don't like you, no one is going to like you, especially from that unit, because I have different units. And what it does, like I mentioned before, this domino effect, it travels. And what they do, they start labeling you. They put you either as a complicated person, unfit person. They start questioning your skills. They start questioning your parenting skills, what they call. Even if you're complying with everything in the agency, they'll say, oh, you can't go along with some person, or you don't communicate well. And ACS is concerned because you're approaching and you're projecting this into the children. They're looking for whatever excuse it is to bring you down, to get to be able to have that advantage on you. They overuse their power. This is what they do. They just, I really don't know what's going on in the system. That's why I'm here to learn as far as what's going on within the foster care system. But I've questioned and I've seen a lot of injustice to the foster kids, to the foster parents. I've questioned even their fundings. I mean, there's a lot of things that's going on, and when I ask what's going on with the services, like for example, I ask a lot for the children, for the services, for the services of my children, for whether there's therapy, whatever it is, after school program, tutoring, what's in there. I want people to be involved, and they're saying, oh, don't worry about it, we'll get to it. Don't worry about it, we'll get to it. But you have fundings for this. What's going on? I mean, what are the resources for the children? What are the resources for us foster parents? What do we do to come together? I mean, what do we do to get reunited or get to know team, get to know staff, get to know foster parents deal with the children? I mean, I feel that everyone should work together, but instead it's a big separation. Everybody's separating into their own way, whether it's a personal issue, whether it's a professional issue, but everybody goes on their way. There's a lot of animosity, there's a lot of competition. There is, I think they're based on the numbers, how many kids comes into the agency versus how many kids are we providing a given services to. So when you come in here and you're a true active parent, foster parent, and you are focused on doing for the child and try to lead the child into a better future, they start questioning your reasons. let's start questioning, why are you doing this? Why you need to know this? Why do you need to know what services they have? Don't worry about the college right now. Don't worry about independent living right now. Don't worry about this right now. Just do what you need to do. That's all. I am one person that I need to know where my children are at all times. If they're teenagers, what are they doing? Where are they with? And I need to be communicating with them throughout the time. I do it with my 2 boys. I will definitely do it with every foster child there is in my home, because they're my responsibility. They belong to me in that moment. The agency or the first one say, well, you're suffocating the child, or you're asking too many questions, or you're being too bossy, or you're being this or that. And it's very hypocritical, very hypocritical. I think that most of these people are here to get a paycheck, and they're not interested in their job. Because if they were, they'll become foster parents. I would love for these so-called social workers, and supervisors and directors to be a foster parents for 2 months and find out what happens, and for them to tell us their experience, their tolerance. What do they learn from it? How are they going to help? I think this will give them an outlook, what's going on. And instead they hear blaming everybody else but themselves. They hear finger pointing at, you're the foster parent, you should have done this, you should have done that. But if you don't have nowhere to go, no one to communicate, no one to ask questions to, how are you supposed to learn? If nobody's here to teach you, what are you supposed to learn? You have your foster parent manual, which I found out today that I have a foster parent manual, but I have to read 80 pages, I think it is, in order for me to know my rights. When I should be able to, the agency says, you know what, you have the right to do this, and somebody who walks you through the system, and walk the children and be constantly in communication with the children. It's one social worker per, I don't know, maybe 10 cases. They're not overloaded. If you can't handle the job, then get out of the kitchen. Because that's the first thing that they tell the foster parent. Oh, if you can't handle the foster parent, get out. You're not fit to be a foster parent. And I question, what makes you think I'm not fit to be a foster parent? Because I don't live by your standards? And they don't like that. They don't like that kind of questioning. They take it as aggressiveness, from my part. And that's had brought me here, where for no reason they want to remove the children who's been stable in my home for a while, and it's just mind-blowing that they cover one another. They just a hot mess. They really are. These people are confused and caught up with their own jobs, and they're just cold. They're really cold.
What changes would you like to see in the foster care system?
Respect. Okay. I think a lot of people at the foster, starting from directors all the way to maintenance, they look down on you. They have no respect for you. This is your job, and they think that you're doing for a paycheck. The paycheck is not enough. Okay, not every foster parent is in it for the money, because it's not worth it. Trust me, mine is not worth it. Okay, but what brings it to it is the rewards that you get, with the children. When you see their changes, when you see that, you're getting attached, or that you're not getting attached, you feel it, that attachment, and you see the kids are moving forward. That's rewarding itself. I think it needs to be more mediation, because I know there's a lot of different personalities within staff and foster parents, but this is where the agency should come in, where they have a mediator. Like, for example, this agency that could mediate for foster parents, and everybody can speak out and express their rights, and everybody express their feelings, and everybody come into terms, all for the sake of the children. The only one who's going to benefit at the end of the day are the kids. And this is a job that it should be done because it's in your heart, and it's a rewarding job. It's a rewarding job that you're doing. It's not something that you're doing to become rich, because you don't. All right, it's not for you to make a living out of it, because you don't. There's a lot of responsibilities involved, and that responsibility needs to be shared within the social workers and the foster parents. It's between everybody is responsible, not just me. Don't finger point me and because you slack your responsibility, you didn't come home to do a home visit, or you're not communicating with the children, okay, you're not finding out what's going on, you didn't give me a call, say, hey, Miss Holland, what's going on? I haven't heard from you in a while. How's Ashley? How's this? They don't call together children's report cards. They don't provide the services for the children, like if there's trips or there's activities, they're not involved in the kid's life. They're there, they print you out a sheet of this is what you need to do. You're out on your own. Do what you need to do. Just make sure you didn't do anything right, because I'm here to finger point you, and it's all your fault, and then you're closing your home. It's really unfair. It's really, really unfair, and a lot of these people are, I want to say crooks. I said crooks, and I use the word crooks. And it's okay, because that's how I feel. These are people that are coming here, and they're using their power, and they're using their system. Okay, and the only one that they're using it against is the children, because they're the one affected by it. And these how the children's end up being from home to home to home to home, and not allowing the foster parent, not allowing the staff, not allowing the children to all come together, and find out exactly what are the needs for the foster parents and what are the needs for the children, and all they want is their position. All they want is that paperwork, and it says, you know what, here it is, it's documented, and half of the time it's not even true, because they take advantage of their position. And what they do, they call it in a meeting where you're not even allowed to be in there, and then they present you, oh, this is what's going on, this is our concerns, this is your concerns, but you never brought it to me and to my attention. And if so-and-so told you this, why didn't you pick up the phone right there and then and brought whoever it is that brought you this concerns, and then bring me into it, so we can all come into terms and clear the matter, and they refuse to do that. That's called professionalism. Sometimes they target minorities, whether you're Hispanic or Latino. They get in cahoots, and they just, everybody, I dare to say some sort of discrimination, okay? You feel it. Sometimes it's so thick that you can cut it with a knife. You sense it. I'm a very strong opinionated person, and sometimes I can sense and see the difference between workers, co-workers, between staff, and if they don't even communicate, they don't even have it straight, how they're going to approach me with it. Sometimes I feel it because they just don't like the way I look, or they don't like the way I speak, or the way, my tone of my voice, or the questions that I ask, and they feel that I don't need to know. All I need to do is get a check, go on about my business with the children, and that it's it. And political corruption? Is that what it is? I mean, it's you have no rights. You have rights, but you have no rights. And what you got to do is just stay quiet. And a lot of these foster parents, they feel so intimidated by the staff that they don't want to speak out. And what they do instead is they go and find another agency, and they go and transfer to another agency, and they go from agency to agency trying to find a suitable place for them, when in reality they're not able to to have that connection, because they're in fear to speak their mind or to express their feelings or exactly what they want.